And we're live. Alright, now it works. Jesus Christ. It didn't work a couple of minutes ago. So let me just spread that around on the social medias. Because, you know, you gotta do all that stuff. While I'm setting up, well, welcome to everybody joining. Hope that you will enjoy this little series that I thought of a couple of weeks ago, and then I now just, you know, decided, fuck it, let's go on this new year day. Hope everyone had a great night yesterday. Hope you celebrated and had fun. I didn't. Not in terms of like, oh, it was fucking bullshit. I spent the night at Tim Hortons with a friend. It was great. And we're live. That's one. And we're live. Publish. Alright, there we go. Okay. So, you can read the description down below for hiya, hello Sarah Dusk, how are you doing? So you can read the description down below to see what these streams will be about. As mentioned, they will be about music production mostly, and they'll be really fun to do. Well, in my honest opinion, that's for me. So let me just move that. Do I need that? Yeah, sort of. Okay. So this first stream is going to be some sort of test and an overview of how I approach music in general, and how, oh wait, snoop. I mean shit, but oh crap, that's not gonna work unless I do this. Okay, this will work. So, because I want to monitor everything. Can I have something be pinned, like being on top of everything? That would be great. No, I can't. Snoop. Shit. Anyways. So yeah, we're gonna have an overview of how I approach music composing and how what is my workflow in general. So you know, the software that I use for composing, the software that I use for VSTs, and finally the DAW that I use for mixing, mastering, recording, and all that stuff, as well as you know, resources and stuff like that, so you can do it as well. How many people are watching? 2 people are watching. Thank you for joining on this Monday evening, 1st of January 2018. That's great. So let's get started with the softwares that I use, because believe it or not, you can do a lot of things without any actual instrument these days. And that's something that you guys need to know, like, at first, because some people think, you know, I can't be a musician if I don't have any physical instrument, which is wrong. Believe me. I've seen a lot of I actually know a lot of people who don't even know how to play an instrument that still compose music, because composing music is totally different than actually playing an instrument. As long as you have an idea in mind and you have the software to compose and make that music come out, it's gonna work. You just need to know what you're doing. That's one point. So let's start over here with Guitar Pro 5. Now, I know a lot of people will think, why don't you have the 6 or 7? Well, I stick to this one because it's, honestly, I like it more. I tried the trial version for Guitar Pro 6. I don't like it at all. I've been used to this for several years now, and it's old, but it works. It works just fine. And so today the project that we're gonna look at is Laughter, the cover that's gonna be up as soon as I can record the vocals. So Guitar Pro 5, of course, you can you can crack if you want, because it's not available anymore. You can buy Guitar Pro 7 or 6 or whatever you want. That's just that's just my way of, you know, making things like in order, not have everything at all places everywhere and just in a mess. So, for example, if we take a Dream Theater cover, for example, Octavarium, which is one I worked on for the past couple of days. It's gonna take a little while here. Should I put some music in the background? No, I'm too scared because I'll probably get fucking copyright striked or something. Let's get back here. You get the pop-out chat. There we go. Okay. So, you see here, I know you, wait, let me see. Okay, you can, I'm pretty sure you can see. Yeah, let me see here. Forget the, I don't want the studio, please. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, so as you can see here, you have all the instruments. So there's main guitar, blah, blah, blah. That I don't usually care about guitars, because mostly for Dream Theater covers, I'll download a pre-existing tab on ultimateguitar.com, and I'll go from there. It's a great starting point, because most of the times the drums are all over the place and not, you know, the same than the original. I try to get that as similar as possible, unless it's another arrangement or something like that. So I'll have all my instruments here. So you see there's flute and French horn. Now normally I have my French horn and flute separated. It's just that there's so many instruments going on here. As you can see, there's 28 tracks, and I can only have up to 16 different channels. So flute and French horn over here. So as you can see, well, let's start here. So there's flute. Now it sounds like garbage because it is MIDI. So don't think this is how I start making like a virtual instrument. This is just the basic form. And later in the song we have the French horn, which is right there. So and so you have all that stuff, and then you have down below, you know, your strings, your synths, and stuff like that. Let me get the solid. There we go. And so it just helps me put things in order. So, you know, plus it's really a good way to learn music, because you have like all your tabs instead of standard notation. So you have like all your guitar strings, and then, you know, the numbers are the frets. So it's just a good way to put things in order. Now let's load Laughter back. No, I don't want to save changes. And so for this particular song / cover, let me just get this back up. Okay. Damn. Okay. So, since I don't really bother for the guitars, especially for this series of covers, sorry, because they're not that difficult. Like if you compare that to Dream Theater, they're like super easy. So I'll just, you know, do the drums because I need them, bass if necessary, and synths and other instruments. So you have the drums here, so just and, you know, so normally I just do that by ear, since there's no tabs available for those songs, except for now, because I have put every tab of each cover that I put out so far. So Loyalty, Laughter, Kindness, I'll Fly Higher. That sounded weird right there. I'll Fly Higher. and Generosity. They're on ultimateguitar.com. So if you're interested in getting those tabs, just go on there, just search for the songs by Acoustic Mando Brony, and you'll find them. So for example, if we take Generosity, you have your violins, so then you have your strings there. So let's really, again, to put things in order. And sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird right now, because I have mouth ulcers on the upper lip, just in front of my teeth, and it starts hurting whenever I talk, so that's why it's a bit weird. Anyways, so let's get back over here. So there you go. So that's for Guitar Pro 5. Once everything is tabbed out and written out, so you know all that stuff's done, I'll export that into MIDI in whatever folder I want, and then I'm gonna load the MIDI, not here, but here in good old Mixcraft. Now I could record everything and mix everything in Mixcraft. However, I don't like the interface that much, except for their VSTs. The VSTs that come with it are very good. So for example, if I just load up a VST track here, if it loads, okay, there you go. You have a couple of third-party VSTs that come with Mixcraft. So you have Journeys, Messiah, Minimoog, VA, Renegade. The rest of them are some that I downloaded, including Addictive Drums 2. Because yes, we're musicians, we're poor, we can't afford softwares like this. Even though, like, if I had the money, I would buy it. But you know, being the man that I am, and I know a bunch of people who do it as well. So don't feel bad if you crack softwares, because we're out here being poor as fuck. But yeah, this is definitely something that I would buy if I had the money. So there's no lie here. I'm not saying I bought it, Addictive Drums 2. Neither did I buy Mixcraft. I've had Guitar Pro 5 though for years now, because my brother bought it at some point. And same for the whole Adobe suite. My brother had to buy it for school, and he installed it on the computer. Anyways, there's a lot of things that you can do with Mixcraft. So for example, we'll take a quick look at how I would approach. Oops, no, there we go. So for example, this is my drums template. So you'll have one track per parts. So you'll have your overheads, room, hi-hat, snare, tom. I have the toms on one track because otherwise it would just screw my RAM up. So yeah, that would be terrible for my PC because I only have 4 gigs of RAM. So yeah, that's pretty bad. So I'll have my overheads here, and it's basically just the same kit, just, you know, I have the overheads here soloed, and for example for the snare I have the snare soloed, and etc. And so I have this kit here which is made of several kits. So there's the Black Velvet one, the Studio Prog for toms and kicks, the metals crashes, as well as other stuff that I can't remember the kits. Let me just see. It's mostly Studio Rock, Studio Prog, and well, it's just a bunch of kits. And so normally you'd think, you know, hey, you're using, you know, all the effects that are built in Addictive Drums. I don't really do it, to be quite honest. I mostly do post-production stuff. I'll have, you know, just the general sound setup, but I don't have any EQ, I don't have any compression, This is very useful though. It adds a lot of power to it. So if I just remove that and just do that, you can't really hear the difference here. Let me actually just do it over here. Now that, oh wait, no, that's hi-hat, wrong track. Let me get that here. Okay, so let me remove, this was not active, this is not in it. So just the shape thing. So if I remove that, sounds good, but if I add this, it adds a lot of punch to it. We can't really hear that. There's just a little bit that's added to it. And so just stuff like that. So no processing whatsoever except for that thing here. Same goes for toms and kicks and stuff like that. So no compression whatsoever. So I'll load my my MIDI in here. So if I just load laughter, I'll normally do like one project with the drums and another project with the rest of the instruments. So I'll have this over here, the drums. Then I'll move around some stuff because the MIDI map is not, I use it for Guitar Pro, but let's say for example you have your closed hi-hats on this note here. Well, let's go for the opened one. So this represents the note 46 on Guitar Pro 5, but I only have like 3 stages of like 3 different hi-hats articulation. So you'll have like closed hi-hats, pedal hi-hat, and open hi-hat, and I want something else, so I'll do it over here. Just let me move that to hi-hat so I can hear it clearly. So you'll have your closed hi-hat. We can't really hear anything. It's quiet, very quiet, but hey, we're gonna, okay, let me just boost it here. So you have closed, well, pedal, closed 1, closed 2, 3. So you get the idea. And so just moving stuff around and then, you know, just copy paste it on every track over there. Over there, that was weird again. And then I just export every track separately, so I'll have like one overhead track, one room track, one hi-hats track, etc. Now, let me just, so this is pretty much it, and of course change the tempo and add markers and stuff like that for if they're needed. So this is for the drums. Now, for example, for something else, sorry by the way if it's in French, you probably won't really get anything. I'll try to change that next time, but now it's gonna take a while because it needs to deload, like unload everything, and that's why I don't record on that mostly. Record in this thing here. Sorry, Jesus Christ. These mouth ulcers hurt, and I don't like it. Don't like it at all. This is a bad timing for a live stream, but hey, whatever. You guys out there joining me are fucking troopers, if you do. Get back here. Alright, it's gonna take a little while. Now, for the other instruments, such as the orchestral instruments, believe it or not, you can have a very good orchestral sounds, whether it's for strings, brass, woodwinds, stuff like that, for free. Not by cracking anything, not by, you know, you don't even have to buy anything really to make it work out. In fact, you could actually, instead of buying Mixcraft or anything like that, you could actually download Presonus Studio 1, which is a free DAW. You could also download Reaper, which is also free. I know a lot of people use it. I know my good friend Sable Symphony and Prince Whatever, they use it, and like I tried it. It's just I've been used to my workflow for so long that I can't can't really try to learn a new workflow. Well, for now, I'll probably change like in a couple of years, but right now it feels right using the softwares that I use, and you probably get me if you've been used to using a certain software for something for several years. Anyways, so for let's just add a track here. So for VSTs, so there you go. You can download this thing. It's called Sforzando, which is a plugin that it's like a host for SFZ files and stuff like that. It's basically, you know, there are VSTs, which kind of, well, basically Addictive Drums too. So it's, you know, it's some sort of standalone in a DAW. So this is kind of the same thing, but you can load an instrument in it. So for example, if we go here in West Philadelphia, born and raised. So C, program files, Acoustica Mixcraft 7. Because I just got Mixcraft 8, and it's I like it better than Mixcraft 7 VSTs. Now most of these, except for Addictive Drums, are everything that you see here is free, except for Addictive Drums. So the orchestral library that I found that was absolutely amazing, even though it is free, is this thing here called VSCO2. It's Vercillion something community something 2. No, actually no, it's something Vercillion something. Oh wait, no, Vercillion Symphonic Chamber Orchestra 2. There you go. You can just type in VSCO2 on Google, and if you go on their website, let me just lower a bit my microphone here because I see it peaking all the time. So you go on their website, you see there's going to be a community edition that should pop out somewhere, and it's basically you have the choice of downloading the VST version, the SFZ version, which is the one that I have right now, and the ones for Contact and stuff like that. I personally like the SFZ version better. The standalone works fine, but honestly, it's just not my thing. Like, I tried it on its own. Do I still have one? I think so. Yeah, there we go. So you have VSCO2 cello section, which is one of them. That was free. So if you see, okay, you have your key switches here. That changes your articulation. So you have, you know, your sustain, your pizzicato, tremolo, spiccato, another sustain, and another sustain. So, you know, you have to add some sort of reverb, you know, just move that around, and even then it's not. It sounds okay, I guess, if that's the sound you're looking for. I was not looking for that sort of sound, so if I go in my favorites, because I made a couple of patches, as you can see here, there's the cello ensemble, cello staccato. Now, you don't have to do a patch for each articulation, because my friend wanted me to show him this VST in particular, and the recent update actually has some the instruments that I was loading. Let me just get it back here. It's for Sendo. Oh snap! Gotta bring it back. It's gonna take a couple seconds. So for example, let's just take another cello here. So you know, you have all this. There's already a bit more realism here. But there's a couple of new instruments like that that include key switches. So instead of, you know, having, okay, there's the sustain one, here's the spiccato one, you can switch them with notes that aren't in the range here, which is great. I'll probably download it later today. But yeah, so this plugin in particular is free, and the SFZ thing, so all this is also free. It is a heavy file though. It's like 2 gigabytes, I think, or 3. I'm not sure. But it's really worth the wait and download, quite honestly, because you have like, here's, let's say, a bassoon. Here's, I don't know, a clarinet. Here's, and there's a bunch of articulation. So there's your clarinet staccato. And there's also a bunch of different velocities. So if I go here, for more realism, you have some French horns here. You have flute, that's not a harp, which is okay. And glockenspiel, don't know if I pronounced that right. One of my favorites, hobo. This is probably one of my favorite orchestral instruments, the oboe. And I don't have any MIDI keyboard right now, so I just do that with my mouse. Piccolo as well. I don't really like the organ, to be quite honest. There's a timpani, trumpets, tubas, violins, even a piano, which is really, really cool. You know, you have all that range here, so. So there you go. And as I said, everything in here is free. So it's really good. So what makes things really, really heavy for this file is because since it's an SFZ and not a VST, that everything here just, oh shit, can't. Okay, there you go. So all of these are wave files for each and every single note. So you know, there's like 3 different things. Like, okay, let's say, well, this is 3 types of velocities. There's 2 round robins. Is it kind of raw? I'm not sure if it's called like that, but basically to make it more random and more realistic, there's like 2 different takes. Well, 2 different samples for every single. So, for example, RR2, RR1, that would be round robin 1, round robin 2 for that G1, and stuff like that. So it's really well made and it's free, as I mentioned. Another one that I found for free, which I have yet to try in a mix. Where the hell did I put it? Oh, right. I think. Is it in here? EW harp. Harp, no, oh, there we go. That's another free harp that I've seen. Is it on the same website? I can't remember if it's on the same website, but... Sweet looking harp? Sweet sounding harp. Vocal phrases and... Oh, Jesus, okay. And what else? SFZ. Oh yeah, okay. So on their website, you have the choice, you know, between VSCO2, the SFZ version, the VST version, and stuff like that. There's also like a 256 pack and something else that they call that you can also download as well. I downloaded it as well at first. This is the first one that I downloaded, and you know, it sounds great, but it doesn't sound as realistic as the other ones. So for example, as we take this cello section here, sounds good. If we take the VSCO2 cello ensemble, there we go. It sounds realistic, but there's something weird about it. So what I did is make a couple of patches that are basically a mix of those two, so it sounds realistic as well as oh yeah, that's the one I wanted. Yeah, the mix of the two sounds really good. Same goes for everything that's trumpets and brass. So if we take the trombones ensemble, see those last notes? That's because only one of them can reach there. But if we go like in the middle, if I deactivate one of them, for example, and let's switch. Sounds okay, but both of them are just... There's a mix of realism and a bit of fake to it that I like. There's a whole string section here. There's violins, contrabasses, violas, and cellos all at once. And if we go really low... So yeah, those mix pretty goddamn well, I'd say. There's also another synth. This section is going to take a while because this is the one with the most things. Oh, Boneshine Gaming, I never saw your comment. Sorry about that. When was that posted? Shit. No. Rip. I didn't see that. Rip. So there's one called Synth1 VSD, which I recently found, and there's also a video I found on YouTube. The dude basically said, here is 25,000 different presets, and I was like, yeah, sure. Some of them are like, yes, they're doubled, but if this is the default one, let's just get higher. So if we go here, you see there, those are all different like banks. So if we go, I don't know, over here, there's all a bunch of patches here. So let's go for there's one actually with like Eurobeat presets. It was pretty goddamn cool. I might even actually use them at some point. I don't remember which one it was. There's so many of them. So here's a bunch of lead sounds. You know, just... And you can change all that stuff here with all the different settings. God damn it. Blade Runner. No. Big Tone. There's a couple of them that just need... They're the same, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot of synths, my dude. Vintage bass, boom funk, no. Let's go see an E. Evil Dragon. Okay. Crap. I have yet to oh. Eurobeat. Eurodance 90s. I can also use my normal keyboard for this, but You see where I'm going here. Damn it. Shit, let me go with my two hands here. Ugh, crap, give me one more note, please. God damn it. Anyways, you get the idea. God damn it, no, stupid. Give me the chat back. I don't want to miss someone else. That was one really goddamn cool phaser. Maybe that's the one. Like, get the fucking, what's their name? Initial D, there we go. You know, holy, oh Jesus. Light. Rough. Maybe that's... So there's a bunch of shit in there that I could take hours to see every one of them. Here's another great one if you guys are into 8-bit music and are trying to make one. It's very simple. It's called Peach. So I can't remember who the producer... Well, Peach... God damn it. Can't remember for the life of me who did that synth, but it is free as well. So... There's a bunch of them in there, so... There's like one called Rupee. I'm letting you guess which game it's trying to mimic Samus as well. Raft Rupees. Yeah. There's also Triforce. Oh, God damn it, that's the wrong VST. Give me Triforce. Which is that. There. SQ2. Yeah, so you can mess around with that as well. Now, for the ones that come with Renegade. Well, with Mixcraft, sorry. Now, that's one that I don't really use, because it is mostly for EDM, but let me just show you what it can do. Just... Like, there's a bunch of presets here. So, like, brass. Can't really pitch bend them, rip. Trance. There's some super saws in there as well. I think super saw, there we go. Yeah, it's really Minimoog is I like this one. There's just something to it that I don't really like about it though. It's whenever you sometimes the final product, when it's repeating a note, it's not doing it, it's fucking up. But yeah, there's a bunch of presets in that as well. For example, the one that I made this here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Wakeman's Journey. There's also Messiah that comes with Mixcraft, which is also another great one. Which one? Oh yeah, let me load in my the one Jordan Ruda synth. I try to make one. God, it is impossible. Trying to make a sound kind of like Jordan Rudess uses for his synths. It's But the one that I tried getting right now is pretty good, with a bit of distortion and some delays. I like it. With a bit, like, I had an amp sim on Audition. What other things we have? Journeys is interesting. It's not really much of a VST that you can mess around with the settings. It's just that. Like, okay, here's one of many things. So there's journeys, there's entangled species, sorry. And you have a bunch of presets that you can't modify really. And it sounds cool though. That's one thing. Journeys, for example, there's one of Doctor Who, I think. I think. Lucky Freeman. Maybe it's the entangled species one. Oh, I think I saw one. No. Okay, which one was it then? All was like either First Doctor or Doctor something. Feedback, no. What? It's not there? What the hell? Danger Zone. I'm gonna let you guess what the hell this one is supposed to be. Yeah, it's fucking Danger Zone, my dude. Damn it, which one is the fucking... Okay, maybe synth... modeled? Because I'm pretty sure there's one of Doctor Who. Unless they removed it. Other... atmosphere. That's strange. And titles, no. Pulsating. Riff. This one I like a lot, not Frog. God damn it. Juno-esque. Don't crash. There's one that I really liked when I was actually writing the Final Frontier Opus 7. I was messing around with some synths in here. At one point I was like, hey, holy shit, this one's really good. Let me use it. I think it's Jupiter-esque. Yeah, that's the one. There you go. That's how I came up with Final Frontier Opus 7. I really like, and it's one from Journeys, so it's really cool. I'm just trying to find one because there's one that was definitely like Doctor Who, the first one. Other, no, modeled. Maybe it isn't modeled. No, it's not. What the hell? Final Frontier. Which one is that? Emoog. No, I didn't. I don't think I used that one. No, definitely not. Hard. I swear to God. FX. No. Brass. Is this stereo? I don't know if this is stereo. Okay, no, it's in stereo. Cool. I was scared there for a second. Africa. Okay, so here are a couple of just basic synths that come with Mixcraft. God damn it, it's a nightmare to play on a normal keyboard, Jesus Christ. I need a MIDI keyboard. Countdown brass. I'm gonna let you guess what this is. Damn it. Oops. Yes, this one is pretty cool as well. Very 80s. Might as well jump. I'm gonna let you guess this again, what this is. Yeah, just gotta... Sweet Dreams. Pretty much. So there's a bunch of this in like fucking everywhere. Synth string as well. And these are the ones that come with Mixcraft. And the rest of those are, well, you know, Triforce, Peach, Synth 1, Sfarzando, and that library is, all of them are free. Now, once we have everything done here, see? God damn, it's already 11 o'clock. So once everything is done in here, and everything, because you just go export in separate files and do all that, and boom, we're done here. Now is where things start to get interesting. So I have this project of laughter here opened. Let me just get rid of my mixer here. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. So basically, you have all the tracks set up there. And how I approach drums is basically like a regular drum. So I have, I'll actually move this over here. So this is normal in my second screen. There we go. So I'll have every single track with everything. Now we're not gonna get into routing, mixing in depth for this stream in particular. but just see how things work out. So I'll have my drums on each and every single track, have all the effects there, and really it's nothing too difficult once you get used to it. And I have to mention here, this is not going to be a masterclass on how to mix properly, because I'm definitely not the most I'm not the most experienced soundman in the world, far from being the best music producer in the world. I mean, there's not a single mix out there that's perfect. You can listen to a mix, 5 seconds later, you'll hear something different, and you'll think, oh shit, I gotta change something. 5 minutes later, same thing. 5 hours later, same thing. 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. It's never gonna be perfect. So don't be surprised that when you record something and are about to you're about to publish it, that you think, my mix sounds terrible. Because when you do it at first, you're like, oh, this sounds great. And 5 minutes later, you're going to be, shit, it sounds like garbage. That's normal. Because it always changes. It always changes depending on your mood, your acoustic surroundings, the situation you're in, the speakers you're using. And believe it or not, you don't need like a professional studio to have the best mix. And even having the most expensive studio gear in the world, you'll still do mistakes, and you'll still want to change your mixes every now and then. Probably because let's be honest, what's the percentage of the population that uses like decent speakers? We're talking about studio monitors, not just decent speakers. We're talking about studio monitors and studio headphones. Not a lot. Most people use, those crappy earbuds that come with their phones, as well as speakers in a car and just normal speakers. So at the end of the day, what's the point? I'm not saying like don't buy expensive gear. That's not what I'm saying. But if your only way of saying I have a good mix is to buy expensive gear, you're doing something wrong. Because honestly, the best way you can like see if your mix is right, listen to it in a car. There's like the acoustic in there is amazing, especially for the bass. And just the other day, I went with my friends in a car ride to go see Star Wars, and Jesus Christ, I put on like one of my whips, and holy fuck, the kick was amazing. A bit too loud, but it was surprisingly amazing. In my headphones, it sounded completely different. On my speakers, it sounded completely different because I don't have any acoustic treatment done anywhere. And that's the thing. If you have a car, go listen to your mixes in there. If you're using a laptop, that's even better. So just grab your laptop, go in your car, plug it in, listen to it in your car, and do your final touches in there. I know Glenn Fricker said he used to do this because it really works especially for bass, because your low end will, if you don't have acoustic treatment where you're mixing, it's going to sound completely different. Also, don't be afraid to share your whips with other people. If you're in a Discord group or anything, or in a server, just ask if you can, post whips somewhere. And most of the times, yes, there'll be like self promos, or unless you're not in the same servers that I am. But don't be afraid to post them. Don't be afraid to ask your friends, hey, what do you think of this? How do you think it sounds? Blah blah blah. Because at the end of the day, who's going to listen to your music? Is it going to be like world-renowned producers? Hopefully some of them will at one point. Let's be honest. But in all reality, most of the people that will listen to your music are your fans. And so if you have friends that are your fans, or friends that became your fans, or vice versa, so fans that became friends, they're gonna be the ones listening. So if you ask them like, hey, what do you think of this? And they're like, hey, I like this. You should change this or that. Try it, and maybe at the end of the day, it'll work out. I remember one of the first times, and sorry if I talk like shit right now. As I mentioned earlier, I've got some fucking mouth ulcers that make my mouth go absolutely, it fucking burns. So sometimes my words go fucking crazy. But yeah, I remember at one point, I just asked someone, hey, would you like to listen to Whip? I need like some advice and stuff. And they don't need to be like the best sound engineer in the world. Just having someone listen to it, they'll point some things out. And if you ask them, I need like, what's the word for it? Constructive criticism about the mix and everything, they'll do it. Sure, they'll say it's good, but maybe they'll say hey, the drums sound too loud. Hey, the vocals are too loud. They're not loud enough, and etc. So yeah, basically, don't worry about your gear first, unless you don't have any speakers or any decent headphones. That's a good start, to have a decent set of headphones. But if you can send your whips to a bunch of people, that's one thing that can work. Are you woke? Hell yeah, dude. Jesus Christ. You're coming back on the 5th, right? From Mexico? I think so. Hopefully you can do something. Jesus Christ. So yeah, you don't need like the best software in the world. You don't need the best gear in the world. All you need, it pretty much is yourself, a good pair of headphones and a car, pretty much. That's and a set of friends that will listen to your whips, and that also will give you constructive criticism, not just say, hey, it's good or hey, it's bad. They need to be able to point things out. So yeah, don't worry about things like that. Just really worry about how you like your songs, and because it's also, you're doing it for yourself, let's be honest. Nikki Savage thinks, who the fuck is Nikki Savage? Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're not gonna get into that. Jesus Christ. Some dude at college. Anyways, so you set up your tracks like that. And in future live streams, we're gonna get into what's a bus track, how it works, how can you use a compressor properly? Because I've been there, and at first, holy crap, I didn't know how a goddamn compressor worked. And now that I think about it, it's really easy once you get to know everything. And I'll have to change my shit to English in here as well, because you have no fucking clue what the fuck a seuil is. It's the threshold. Attack, it's attack, but words like that, I'm gonna have to change it. Anyways, wait a second, why the fuck are the effects in French and this in English? Read, resets, track. What the fuck? Okay, that's weird. But yeah, this is how it goes. This is how I work. I'll have a bus track per effect, so the delay, the reverb for the drums, because I like to have a different kind of reverb there. If you're looking for plugins for effects, so for example, this here, reverb, delays, let's go here, chorus, flanger, all that stuff. This brand right here, sorry if I fucking murder this name, but Kairos Audio, or that's not even the name. Anyways, you can download this whole range for free. So if let me just, is it KJ Audio? I don't remember. Let me see here. KJ Audio. Okay, now that's a brand for speakers. Classic Force. Okay, it's KVR. There you go. So KVR Audio, that's their website. You can just go there. I think. Is this your company? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So Kieris Audio. I think. Where the fuck? Okay, never mind. Just related. Because it's also downloadable as like one pack. Let me just copy that name. You can also go on VSD for free. There's a bunch of Kieris Audio Classic Bundle. I think that's it. Yeah, there you go. So you can go on VSD for free and find it there as well. Comes the whole pack. There's chorus, compressor, delay, EQ, flanger, or flanger, limiter, phaser, reverb, auto filter. So that's pretty sweet as well for free. It works great and all that stuff. As well as the Reaper plugin pack that comes with Reaper. It's a great package that comes with gate, compressor, EQ, and all the basic stuff. Because you don't need a lot of fancy. Because the only fancy VST that you use right now is this. Cost me $1 because it was on sale on Plugin Boutique. You should check that website out as well. I'm not being sponsored here, but this website is really cool. There's a bunch of deals sometimes. It's just crazy sales like, okay, 99% off. It's $1 for this thing and whatever. And this is just a stereo widener or stuff like that. Just use it a little bit to make the mixes sound a bit, open. But I used to use... is it even loaded? Okay, no, I deloaded it. Let me get that changed. Unless I deleted it. Oh, shit, I think I deleted it. Oh, no, there we go. Okay. Limiter 6. This is free as well. But I used this as a limiter on my drums for a while. And you can hear when I used it on my cover, A Stream of Consciousness. What else? I think the answer lies within. And all around those times, so September-ish, I think. And oh my god, it sounds so different now. This one sounds more distorted, and it takes a lot of RAM. And I just switched to the built-in limiter on Adobe Audition, and it works just fine on both drums and the master. It works really good, even though it's simple as hell. You don't need, the whole kit comes around in how much? What kit? Like the whole, the whole kit. Oh, you mean the thing, this thing. Let me see how much it is. MSW1 SoundSpot. Oh shit. It's still it's still 99% off. It's still $1, but normally it's $35. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. SoundSpot. They have a bunch of shit as well. Also available in a bundle. Okay, so it's still... Why the fuck is it still on Black Friday sales? But yeah, they do bundles as well, as you can see right here. So yeah, this is $1, $1, $1, $1, $15 and stuff like that. Vocal processing? Oh shit, cool. But yeah, this website is really cool. So as you can see, let's just free. Just go on free, for example, effects. So there's a bunch of amp sims. Let me actually see those. I don't use them, but why not while we're here? Okay. Sure. Bit crusher, channel strip, chorus, compressor, delay, distortion, blah, blah, blah. All those are free. And if you go on deals, really cool. Yeah, there you go, 60% off. A bunch of shit. Sometimes it's even like stuff like this, a bunch of synths, 50% off. This is, oh my god, okay. It's $900 instead of $1,800, so that's a pretty good saving. Soft tube as well. There you go, the whole SoundSpot mixing and mastering tools. That's all the SoundSpot plugins all at once. A bunch of synths and stuff like that. It's really neat. Yeah, you should definitely check that site, that website out if you have an interest in not spending a lot of money on good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And for the compressor, just use the built-in compressor in Audition. And so let's just listen to... Oh fuck, did I do that? God damn it. Okay, view, window, god damn it, files. Shit. Mixer. Did not mean to do that. What else? Oh yeah, frequency analysis. There was something else. There was something else. Or was it? Yeah, oh, no, wait, what the fuck? God damn it, which one? Media browser, no. What? History, no. Batch process. Workspace. I don't, oh, okay, wait, never mind. It's just, this was, okay, we're back together. Cool. Just need to lower that. And boom. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Also, frequency analysis is great because you can see if there's too much bass and stuff like that. So let's get here. Over here with the whole session. So if we start over here, now let's, before I start playing, let's just talk interfaces and stuff like that. If you're starting out and you want to start recording your guitar, I'm most of the time gonna speak for rock music and stuff like that. For EDM and, you know, all of that stuff, all that's electronic music, it's about the same things, but it's just gonna work different in terms of like compression, EQ and stuff like that, since it's something completely different. It's a completely different genre. You don't have the same dynamics and stuff like that. Well, not dynamics, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same feel. It's just not the same spirit in some way. You won't need an interface unless you're using like a mixer or a keyboard, but most of the times you're going to use a MIDI keyboard, or just do it by hand on a DAW with MIDI tracks. But for rock music, like over here, you're going to want to buy an interface, a USB interface, or unless you're using a pedal like I am using, but that's not the way I plug it in my interface. But you can plug most of the times you can plug your multi-effect pedals by USB, unless you don't have one that does that, but I own one. If you have a pedal that can connect USB and you can record through USB, then you're safe for that. But if you want to use a microphone, you can also buy a USB microphone. That also works. But if you're thinking of recording more than that, and because I'm going to be honest, the range of USB microphones, I'm not saying they're shit, it's just that it's very limited in terms of a variety. So if you want like a USB, for example, I use the AT2020, the XLR version. There's the version, there's the USB version of that. There's there's Behringer CO1U. There's a bunch of them, but it's just most of them are they're condenser mics. They're not pencil mics. They're not shotgun mics. They're not you know, you missed the variety of XLR microphones. That's all I'm saying. And if you get an interface, well, you can use all of those other microphones that you can't really use that don't exist by USB. But you can get away with a good USB microphone as well. You just need to do some post-processing as literally anything. So for example, if you want to record just a guitar and vocals, if you have an amp, see if you can record directly like without using a microphone, because using a microphone and an amp, that's a totally different story. If you want to have more information on that, I highly suggest Glenn Fricker. He has a channel called SMG, Spectre Sound Studios. Has a bunch of tutorials. You might not like him. I like him. He's very controversial, but yeah, he has a bunch of techniques on how to mic your amp correctly, even drums, bass, and stuff like that. But if you can plug in your guitar amp directly out with a 1/4 inch cable, or you know, guitar cable, that's gonna save you a lot of time and money, because you won't have to buy an extra mic for that. But yeah, if you just want to record a guitar and a mic and a vocal, for example, or a acoustic guitar, check out some 2-input channels. I'm tired, Jesus Christ. 2-input interfaces. I use the Focusrite 2i2. There's also the Focusrite Solo. There's also the M-Audio 2-track, I think it's called. There's PreSonus that makes a lot of them. You have a bunch of interfaces out there that are made for that. Some of them are more expensive, but some of them are quite good they're a good bang for the buck. And just look around, watch some reviews, see how they work, and choose the one that fits you most and the one you like most. Because that's the thing. If you use a certain interface and someone says, well, that's not the industry standard, or it's not a great interface, or it's not a great whatever, just use it. If you like it and you use it and it does the job for you, just do it. Just use it. I mean, the Focusrite 2i2 is definitely not the best interface in the world. It's very limited to what it can do, but hey, it does the job for me. And it was like, I bought it for $400 with the microphone as a kit. So that's, I mean, I'm like, it works. I'm fine with that. So if you need something expensive, because you know you like expensive stuff, well, then that's your liking. I can't do anything about that. If you're thinking of recording drums, but don't have a big budget, I highly suggest you buy a used interface that still works. For example, I know Focusrite makes a 18i20, which has like eight inputs, I believe. There's a bunch of interfaces with 8 inputs. You're gonna need at least 8, because there's like 2 for the overheads, 1 for the room if you use one, 1 for the snare, maybe 2 for the snare, 1 for each tom. So if you have 2 toms, that 1 per tom, 1 for the kick. So that's 8 microphones, and that's if you have 2 toms and if you use 2 snares, if you have a room mic. And yeah, and you're gonna need a microphone per part, and you don't want to buy an SM57 for every part. That's not gonna work well. Well, it could work, but it's honestly not gonna sound as good as if you buy a dedicated microphone for that, because the smaller the capsule, sorry, the less bass response you get from. So if you want to record a kick drum with an SM57, fine, but you're not going to get as much boom as a large diaphragm mic. Oh, Jesus Christ, these words hurt my mouth. Jesus Christ. Anyways, there are microphone kits that are made specially for drums. There are 5-pieces kits, 7-pieces kits, and etc. You can buy those. They're gonna do the job just fine. You can also buy separate mics. Well, not separate mics, but individual mics, and that's gonna work as well. But that's gonna cost you a bit more. So if you plan on recording, and there's also a method that you can use 3 microphones for that, but if you really want a big, like a massive drum sound, you're gonna need several microphones. You can also just buy one at a time until you build up a full kit, and that's gonna really be cool. So yeah, that's for hardware and stuff like that. For monitors, don't really, I'm not saying don't buy monitors. Don't think too hard. Get cheap, decent monitors that do the job fine. Behringer makes some. I know Yamaha makes some that are also pretty cool. KRV, I think, yeah, KRV as well. There's a bunch of monitors out there that work just fine. But don't, as I said, don't think too hard about it. Just get some speakers that work at first, and until you get the money, get some decent monitors, as well as a good set of headphones. I use the ATH M50X by Audio-Technica. A bunch of people use them because they're really good. They're really comfortable as well, so you can wear them for several hours without, having your ears hurt. That's pretty cool. They're pretty pricey, so you can get the 40X or the 30X or the 20X if you want. They're a bit cheaper. I know the 20Xs are like $70, I think, but they're pretty good. And beware, don't just mix with headphones. As I mentioned earlier, you need to mix with several things, so you can hear different atmospheres and different acoustic situations, stuff like that. But yeah, don't bother yourself with expensive gear. That's all I'm saying. Just start with something very basic that will work out until you get the money and want to invest. And because the thing is, if you're starting out and you start buying like a fuck ton of expensive gear, and turns out you don't like it, well, you're gonna have wasted all that money for nothing in the end. So get something cheap, reliable, that works, and if you like it and you want to get further into it, well, just get some more better gear for that. So when you record stuff, so let's say we have these guitar tracks. I'll have 2 of them double tracked. That's very common in rock music. You could also use, just 1 track, pan it in the center, and use like some sort of delay or chorus to make it seem like it's doubled, and that's it. But I prefer using a double track because you can do harmonies at some point, and that's really cool. Bass, just 1 track, stuff like that, and the rest are pretty much VSTs except for the clean guitars here and lead guitar. For clean guitars, I tried something recently for a Dream Theater cover, and oh my god, it really sounds cool. A combination of an acoustic guitar recorded with the microphone and a clean guitar on electric guitar with a bit of chorus and mixed together sounds heavenly. It really does. You just need to balance them, and it sounds just amazing. So here is basically how the whole thing sounds. So we went from the tab, this, let's get there. Turned it into MIDI, exported that in here, and this is what it sounds like. So let's get right into here. And here's the drum on its own. So it sounds, after all that post-processing, it sounds really cool. And without the reverb, it sounds different. Makes it sound more alive. And here's the synth on its own. And if you remove the delay here, again, it makes it feel more alive and more open. The lead guitar there. And here's the rhythm guitars. And the bass. I know it's heavily distorted, but I think it fits the song well. Normally I don't use as much distortion, but yeah, it sounds great combined with everything. Yeah. And for the clean guitars, it's double tracked as well. And recording acoustic guitar with a microphone, there's a lot that is going on because you don't want any other sound than the guitar going at the same time. If there's a silent moment and you hear like background noises and like a thump or anything, that's fine, you can remove it. But if you hear a thump or anything while it's recorded, it's going to mess up your recording. Now, this is just like a 15-second section. That's fine if it happens, but if you're doing a 3 minutes take, you're almost done, and there's one thumb happening and you hear it, it's going to piss you off. Sure, you can record just like, okay, cut there, record like a small 5-second section, and boom, that's it. But it's really, it pisses me off when it happens. Like, all right, the take was good, and then you hear a bunch of thumps in the background. I'm like, God damn it. It's just ambient noise most of the time, and it's just because, you know, you have your mic on your mic stand, and sometimes it's just tapping your foot on the floor that makes it happen, or just, you know, just you know, hitting my pop filter is making a noise like that. You might want to need a shock mount. That would be something. But if I don't know, let me just tap on the floor. Now I have a noise gate and shit, so let me just be really loud on it. You know, you hear it in your recording, so that's really really bad in that case. So yeah, and keep in mind, this is not a final mix. I still have some things to tweak here and there, but yeah, that's pretty much how Laughter is going to sound. Let me just get there. Why the fuck? It keeps lagging, sorry. Let me just get back there. Yeah, that's pretty much how it sounds like right now. And we'll get into, you know, as I said, all the mixing techniques later during this series. Probably next stream I'll do like basics, how a compressor works, how an EQ works, and stuff like that. Even though you could watch it somewhere on YouTube, you could find that, but I like just very quickly how these things work, and just to give an example and show it how it works, because most of the times the tutorials will be like, oh, so this is the compressor, this is the threshold, this is the attack, this is the release, and the release does this, the attack does this, and the threshold does this, and they don't show any real like examples. Well, not most of them, but a bunch of them do that, and it's really like it's not showing anything, really. Especially for vocals, it's really crucial to have like good control over compression, because you can over compress it, you can not compress it enough, and stuff like that. And yeah, and also for drums. So yeah, we're gonna cover basics of different things on the next well, the next two streams, because the next stream I'll probably do some recording and stuff, so we'll have to see that in probably 2 weeks. So we've been live for an hour almost. Yeah, no, I mean almost an hour and a half. So on that note, I will say goodbye for now. Let me just quit this, because Jesus Christ. Rip my RAM. So on that note, with this cool background, the fuck was I going to say? Yeah, right. So on that note, I'll just do the crazy effect. Hell yeah, dude. What am I doing? So on that note, thank you to anyone who joined on this January 1st, 2018. This is confusing as hell. So that's a nice ending right there. God damn. So thank you for anyone who joined. Hopefully this series will be appealing to a bunch of people, because I was thinking of doing it for a while now. And I figured, you know, some of you guys are musicians that are watching me, and I know, like, whether you're like a beginner or you're just not even started, but you were thinking of doing it, I'll show you how, you know, you don't need a lot of things to make it happen, really. You just need a lot of dedication, patience, and basically a will to do it. And that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this as much as I am. So on that note, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably gonna go to sleep, because I've been up since 8 p.m. yesterday. My sleep schedule is fucked. I know, but hey, for the third time or fourth, I don't remember. Hopefully you'll enjoy this series. Thank you for joining. This has been Rockin' Brony. Keep on rocking my world, and I'll see you guys next stream or next video or whatever the fuck happens.